some questions. I think the first question we should start with is like how we met. Right?
Okay, I'll give you the reins on that one.
Okay.
Because you kind of like, I feel like I was in another world and you were on a mission, so you should give the story.
You think I was on a mission, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a little bit on a mission.
So.
And mission accomplished.
That's true.
Okay.
That.
But it did take work. I'll give you that. So it started out actually with Ray's girlfriend, Bree. She's the one.
They were asking this yesterday and I didn't want to answer it.
She was the one who, how can I say it? She was the one, I wouldn't say introduced me. She was the one who basically allowed me to discover Alexa.
Yeah.
Because she followed Alexa on Instagram and she saw how
we also had a mutual connection.
Yeah.
So she knew of me. I just hadn't known of her yet.
So.
But she knew of me. And like she wasn't, I'm saying that she didn't just like look at my page and was like, this girl. She
no. I know.
Yeah.
So she showed me who Alexa was. And she saw that I was going through it a little bit because I kept being the third wheel. Wherever Bree and Ray were, I was right there looking sad and lonely. So she was like, hey, Austin, what do you think about her? And she was like, Bree was like, yo, she looks like a vibe. And she's like, she lives here around me. Like, she's a Jersey girl. And Bree was like, aren't all Jersey girls the best? Like, joking around. And so I was like, I was looking at the Instagram, dissecting it, looking and stuff. Seeing like, it's weird because like, if you really look at someone's Instagram, you can like kind of see the vibe of somebody, right? Like you got to really like study and like look at each photo and like go in depth, right? If you just look at one photo, you can't really like tell, right? But if someone has enough photos, you can kind of see. And the hard part was like she didn't have that many photos, so I was kind of like stuck with like not knowing much about her. She was like a mystery to me.
Yeah, and I never post anything about like my personal life. It was just pictures of outfits.
Yeah.
It wasn't like.
But I already liked her vibe though. She was very low key. She was very reserved. Her booty wasn't hanging out. She had style. And so I was like, I like this vibe. I really like this vibe. And so obviously I had to slide in the DMs. So that's what I did. Slid straight into the DMs like a water slide.
And what happened? And
I slid in, and I'm not sure how fast it happened, but she opened it and left me on red. She did. I admit. She left me on red, and she did not respond. So then it was interesting because I was like, well, she opened the message, so she is now, if she wasn't aware of who I was, she is now aware of who I am, right? And I was like, okay, well, that's good that she at least knows who I am, but is she going to ever respond? I don't know. So I gave it some time without giving it too much time. And then probably, what?
Maybe a week.
It was a week.
Later, you DM again?
Yeah, maybe a couple weeks.
Yeah. And then like a week later again. And then
okay, again. Relax. I'm trying to go through the steps.
Okay.
So maybe like a couple weeks later, let's give it a month later, I slid in again. Okay? On some again.
No, he didn't say anything crazy.
No, when I slide in, it was very like, I think I like might have responded to a story or something like that. It wasn't nothing like, No,
it was not. It was probably every time it was probably like a short sentence or maybe a few words.
Yeah. It didn't come
and it
off,
was never
it didn't come
like
off awkward or
it was
weird.
Never like you look good or anything about my looks. It was always like, because a lot of guys.
Yeah, that's too basic. That's too basic. All the guys that do that are gonna never get a response. So, I slid in my own way, and at this time it was my second time sliding in, and she left me on red again. Yeah, guys. She left me on red for the second time, and I think a month later, I think each month I was doing it I was sliding in each
I feel
month.
like maybe 2 weeks you were doing it.
Okay, chill. It was not 2 weeks. I gave you time to think about what you wanted to do.
Yeah. How
Okay,
how
hold
many
up.
messages would you say
Hold up,
were
hold
there
up.
before I was like, "What do you want?" How many would you say?
So
I mean, I can go on my phone and check, but I don't want to do all that.
So each month, I basically was sliding in with different things, right? Chat. And she was leaving me on red. But the weird thing was that she kept opening the messages. So I'm like, you don't want to respond, but you want to read. You want to see what I'm saying. So a couple of things were going through my head as I was like sliding in the DMs and she wasn't responding. I was like, okay, she clearly has to have a boyfriend because it's like, you know, why wouldn't you respond to me? Like, so that's one thing that was like, can we come into my mind was like,
No, he can't take an L. He's like, obviously she has a boyfriend. Like, I'm so cute and perfect. She's probably married. That's how he was
for
acting.
sure. I 100% thought she had a boyfriend. So then I gave it some time again. I was like, all right, I'm gonna give it some time. And this time I gave it like a few months,
Yeah.
right? I gave it a few months. So like this course, it was probably like 4 or 5 month period. And it was a struggle. It was a struggle. I was getting declined. I was getting left on red. And then finally, I was at a restaurant with a friend and I slid in again. And this time, I think I said something.
You said, I think I remember. You said, I posted a story and you were like, are you in New York or in Miami or something? And I was like, this was probably message 6 at this point. So at that point, I was just like, I'm home. What do you want? Like, what?
Yeah.
I'm home.
Yeah,
Hi. Like,
yeah.
okay. And he's like, oh, I just want, at least she knew who I was. I knew who you were the whole time. I was just like.
She didn't give 2 fucks, guys. She didn't give 2 fucks. And, but we finally got a response, chat. We finally got a response. Let's clap it up. We got a response.
Yeah.
After the 6, 7 time DMing.
I said like.
And this is going to show you my determination is real. Like, if I really want something, I go after it.
Yeah.
Stop.
Good for you.
Yeah, I don't stop because I knew, right, in my head, I had a vision.
I was the subject.
I put it out there in the universe. That
He
I
always
was like,
says he manifested me.
I tell them all the time, I manifest everything in my life when it comes to just anything that I have in my life going on, right?
Yeah.
I manifest.
Yeah, you do. I know.
And it could sound creepy. It could sound, you know, whatever
It's
the fuck.
weird. I manifested you too, but not in the same way. Like, I manifested you by accident. I just kept thinking, like, someone like so different and magical is gonna come into my life. I don't know who. And it was like the whole time you were DMing me, I was like, it's not him, but it's somebody. And then it just happened to be you.
Yeah. So after she responded,
No, this is how it went. You said New York or Miami, and then first response I said was New York, home, and then you wrote, call me or something, and you gave me your number.
yeah, instant. Once you responded, I was like, oh, I got her.
No, he had to answer in like the same minute.
We had
Like
to
he
move
was
quick.
like, whatever.
I got the response, chat. It's time for the next thing.
So I didn't call him because I was like, I'm not calling you. I was just gave him my number, and I
Okay.
was like, okay, you can call me. if
Okay,
you
so
want.
listen. So then we hopped on the call right away because I'm a call type of guy.
No. So I give him my number. This is all in like a 10-minute time span, and he calls me right away.
100%.
So wait, I don't know this part. You were at a restaurant. Did you
Let
call
me-
me at the restaurant?
No, so I left on the way home. I called you on the way home.
Oh, okay.
So I called her, and instantly I loved the vibe and the connection that we had, like as if like we've been knowing each other. Like she wasn't awkward, she wasn't shy, she was super outgoing, but she was like hesitant on like how determined I was, because I was like, listen, I would love for you to come out to LA so I can like get to know you. I was just very like straight up. I was like, this whole DM thing, like I'd rather have your number so we can talk, and if you ever need anything, like I'm here. Like I want to figure this out. I know you live far. I live far. Let's figure out how we can meet.
And do you guys think I went to LA? Drum roll, please. No.
Guys, it's funny. No, time out. It's funny because she sounded like she was down.
No, I did not.
Time out. Let me give my side. You can give your side. She sounded like she was down because I was like, hey, we'd love for you to come to LA. She's like, yeah, like I think I can make that happen.
No, I didn't say that. I sounded like I was down to you because I was being kind.
Okay,
but
that's
I
where I'm
wasn't...
gonna go with
yeah,
it. Okay, that's where I'm gonna go.
Okay.
I'm telling the truth.
Okay.
And so she sounded like she was down. So then it got me extra excited. So after I got off the phone with her, I texted her right away and said, hey, please send me your ID because I want to like book your trip for you. Like depending on if it's this weekend or next weekend or whenever you're free, like send over your flight info so I can plan everything out.
Yeah.
And she did not.
No, like straight up.
She went ghost, guys, like, for a whole month.
Because I liked his vibe, but I was like, is he on crack? I don't know him. I was like, no, I'm not going anywhere.
Guys.
Like, I'm not going anywhere. I was like, this is my mindset on it. If you want me that bad, you will show up at my front door from LA. Like you'll come to me. I'm not.
You hear that, chat?
I'm not a flown out girl. I've never ever in my life been flown out. No, like that. No,
chat,
no flying out.
How do you feel about that? How do y'all feel about not flying out right away or flying out right away?
I feel like if we're in like a situation where I'm like, we're like exclusive talking, yeah. We've been talking, then you can fly me out. But like you're not flying me out off rip. Okay. But Austin is just the type of person, he's just like go.
Gotta have it. So I was asking her for her flight info right after we got off the phone because I thought I was gonna be able to make it happen. And then she went ghost on me for a whole month. Like I was texting her and I was just like, I got to the point where after I was asked for the flight info, then I asked her again, like, hey, like no pressure. Whenever like you want to come out, let me know. No response again. And then
he sent me about 3 2-minute voice messages.
Okay, let me explain why I did it though.
Okay. So you probably wanted to like sound.
So before I sent these messages, I felt like I had it and then I lost it. So I was a little
determined.
I was a little upset and I was even more determined because I was like, you gave me the number, we get on the phone, you seem like you're interested. And then you just dub me and go ghost? Oh, hell no. What's going on?
Yeah.
So then tell them
I didn't mean to do that on purpose. Like,
tell them I genuinely... Maybe you did, huh?
No, but listen.
Was that your plan? Was to get me excited?
Any situation, I make it as hard as possible because I'm not like... I like to cut out the bullshitters.
Yeah, so you're not a ghost.
That's how you do it. You cut out the bullshitters by you just make it hard for them and see if they're going to push through.
Yeah.
But I don't even think at that time, I wasn't like like trying to do anything with you. I wasn't like moving a certain way and like maneuvering it. I was just really in like my own headspace. I was working. I was like just doing a lot. And I was like, what am I going to like, what type of connection am I going to build with someone so far away? Yeah. So like wrapped up in his own life of like I knew what your lifestyle was. And I was like, I'm a regular girl. I'm like, what's going to happen here? In my head, I'm like, I'm not going to be flown out to be like another whatever. Hoochie mama. No. I was like, so I'd just rather just cut the conversation. It was nice to know you, but whatever.
Yeah. Okay. So then you want to tell him what I said in the messages?
Oh, so like he was like, he sent me a voice message and he was like, hey, Alexa, like wondering why I didn't get a response from you. Like it's kind of throwing me off a little bit, but I happen to be in Miami. Like, do you want to come this weekend? I'll send you a car, a plane, and a freaking rocket ship for you to be here. And he was like sending me like every fucking part of it. Like, I'll have this person pick you up and you can have a car the whole weekend and you can stay here. And I was like,
guys,
no,
I'm not gonna lie. Like, I pulled every trick out of the hat for this woman right here. And when I tell you, like, she made it so difficult for me, that actually is the reason why we're here today. Because I feel like if she was a goer and she responded off the first DM and she came out the first time I asked, we definitely wouldn't be sitting right here for sure.
Definitely not.
And it just goes to show you like what type of girl she is and the morals that she has and how her mom raised her. Like,
oh yeah.
Like, yeah, definitely told me what type of girl
you were messing with for sure.
Yeah, 100%. So then I sent the message. And she just read it again. She kept reading my messages and not responding.
Oh yeah, and I think I had like my read receipts on text.
No, I could just tell whenever I sent you the voice memo, it would go away, and I'm just like, oh my God.
And I think so then he was sending me these voice messages. I still have the voice messages. I think I saved them. I think that's how you knew. God. I think that's how you knew. It would be so funny if we played them. But I'm not gonna do that. Chill. But. I think that's how you knew I read them because I saved it. Yeah. But I don't know why I was saving them. I think I was just saving it because I thought you had to like read it.
Well,
I don't know.
I also was sending like consecutive ones, so maybe
I was like trying to I don't know.
But
and then
so then after Miami, I ended up going to New York, And hold up. I'm going to New York, and I felt like this was my moment to like finally meet her because I was in her city. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, damn, this was like my window of me being out there for 2 or 3 days, having a moment of just like at least just saying hi. And that was my mindset. I was like, as you guys know, I'm a very confident individual, and I feel like if I meet someone that I'm into and they meet me and we have a vibe in person, I feel like I can seal the deal. I really do.
I feel like he really needed, like, he was trying to get an in-person
and I feel
thing.
like a lot of times people may get like a different perception of me online, but in person they can really tell like how down to earth and genuine and humble I really am.
Also, let's remember, like, this was when he was like a huge goofball on the internet. Like, I was like, what is this person? Like, what is this? Like, are you for real? I was like, this cannot be like a real human. So yeah, I was a little bit like, she
was seeing memes.
But I also, it's because I think girls also think sometimes they have to be mean. Like, I was never mean. If he would like send me messages about me seeing him and he was on all that, I kind of was just like, whoa, and I wouldn't answer because I was just like, I don't need to do all that. But but then there was like times he would message me like just happy birthday or like something nice.
Yeah.
So I was always gonna answer that. I was always gonna be like, thank you, like,
okay, nice. So let's get there because that didn't happen for a little time after where I'm going.
Okay.
So I was in New York and I pulled out the voice message again because obviously if she's not answering my text, I knew she was gonna answer my calls, right? So I was like, you know what? Let me just send a voice message so she can hear my voice, see how like serious I am about meeting her. And so I left a voice message on some simple shit, just like, hey, I'm in New York. I'm not here for long. I'm only here for a few days. And I know your work. I know you're super busy. You work every day. But if you could just like carve out like 30 minutes out of your time, whether we go get coffee or we grab some food, or even if I just come say hi to you at work, like that's all I'm asking for. Like no pressure. Like if you're not looking to be involved with anybody, no pressure, but I at least just want to say hi. And I sent that message, guys. And I really thought that was the one. I thought like I had her with that one. When I sent that, I was walking in New York, and I actually had bags because I went shopping and I had bags on me. And after I sent that message, I was feeling good because I got to buy new shoes, new clothes. Sent that message and I was like, watch boys, watch. I was telling Ray, I was telling Security James. I was like, watch bro, like she gonna finally respond.
Bree ended up giving me like the behind the scenes of like.
So listen, let me finish the story. So hours go by, no response. I wait the next day to get a response, no response. Now we're literally 24 hours from me leaving, and I'm like, are you kidding me? You still don't even want to say hi. At this point, guys, I'm like, this is it. This is my last straw. Like I'm done trying. Like I pulled out every trick anyone could ever pull. Like I literally.
Someone said, Austin, you secretly went to New York for her.
Chill.
He said he had business. So
chill,
I was like,
chill. So I literally threw a Hail Mary and no one caught it. She just listened to my voice message again and ignored it. And then after that, we really didn't see each other then, huh? Yeah, we didn't. So then I went back home and I was like,
I forgot you went to New York a time before I saw you.
This is my moment where I was like, I'm done. I was like, you know what? I don't care about her no more.
Yeah.
Like she can have a boyfriend. She can get a new boyfriend. She can do whatever she wants. I'm gonna find my person eventually.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and then you texted me and you said, wow, you don't answer? You must have gotten back with your boyfriend. I never had even told him there was no talk of a boyfriend.
I sent that message because I was being petty.
He was salty at that point.
I wanted to get a response from her because she already gave me some energy. And I'm like, why are you taking the energy back? Like, you're supposed to take the energy and like match my energy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
So I sent that petty message and I was like, wow, seems like you got back with your boyfriend. Wish you the best of luck. I'm petty, chat.
Guys, there was no boyfriend.
I'm petty.
Which is the funny part.
So then I go back home and a few weeks go by and I realize it's her birthday because I was stalking her Instagram. Like, we didn't follow each other, obviously, but I was stalking her shit. And I realized it was her birthday. And I was like, yo, she's a Taurus like me? Like, what the hell? I was like, this is crazy. So then I sent her a message just wishing her a happy birthday. And I was like, hey, I was like, honestly, at this point, there's nothing I can do. I wish you a happy birthday. Hope you have a great day. The least I can do for your birthday, since you won't let me see you, is at least just let me pay for your dinner tonight if you go to dinner. Right? I said that. I was like, that's my birthday gift. Since I can't see you, say hi, or spend time with you, let me at least cover your birthday dinner, whether it's with family or friends. Let me at least cover that.
Yeah. And I said, that's okay. You don't have to do that.
She did. First she said, thank you for your birthday.
Yeah, no, I was like,
thank you for wishing me happy birthday.
Texted, I still remember you said, happy birthday, Taurus twin. Like, hope you had a great day. Like, hope you're whatever. And then I was like, thank you so much. Like, it's really nice. Hope you have a good birthday too. Whatever I said, because it was like his birthday this month. And then he was like, and I'd love to like pay for your birthday dinner, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, that's okay. You don't have to do that.
And I said, no.
Then he was like, no, I'm paying for it.
No, I said, no, I'm paying for it. Send me your Cash App right now. And she was like, no, it's okay. I was like, please just allow me to do that. We never have to talk again. You can, I'll get you a dinner and you can just ignore me for the rest of your life. I was like, at least just allow me to cover that so I can feel good about the situation.
Yeah.
So she was like, fine, sends the Cash App, cover the birthday dinner. And then
he honestly got me a little with the guilt of that one, because then I'm like, I can't not talk to this person. That is so messed up.
That was the point. I was
like, I can't dead him. That's like so rude.
Yeah. Then after the birthday dinner, what happened after the birthday dinner? Did you tell me what you ended up doing?
Then I started like.
Did I ask you where you went, or did I get any information about your birthday dinner?
Well, no.
I didn't, right?
No.
But I think I checked in.
I think we maybe talked on the phone. Actually, yeah, we had like a conversation on the phone after my birthday. We had like
text or call?
No, call. But it was quick. It was always super quick. It was probably 5 minutes.
What'd you end up doing for your birthday?
I went to dinner with my friends in the city.
Oh, your friends?
Yeah.
Like
my girlfriends.
Guy friends?
No, there was no guys.
Did I pay for guys to be there?
No, you didn't. You really didn't.
Chat, why is she smiling like that?
No, I would not be going to dinner with guys that let me pay for them, first of all.
Yeah, true. That's
Hell
weird.
No. It was all girls. We all went to dinner and we had a really nice time.
You didn't go with your family, your brother or sister?
No, we did something separate, like at home, but I ended up going into the city with the girls. And then what happened after that? Then we were like.
Then I checked back in.
Then you checked back in, and then it was like, we had a few conversations, but then again in my head, I was like, what am I having this like pen pal phone talk with?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here?
After she realized like the lengths I was willing to go.
Yeah.
She was like opening up a little bit.
Yeah, over time. And like that was like all I needed to like know that I had a chance. Right? Like she opened up that window just enough for me to like wiggle in. You know what I'm saying? And then basically, long story short, like after that, like the rest was fucking history. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say all that. So then you happen to come to New York again for work, and
okay. This is when it gets good. This is when it gets good. This is when it gets. How did I forget this? This is when it gets good, guys. So after her birthday, I go to New York again, right? Obviously, I had to do business out there.
Guys, he hasn't gone to New York since then. He has no business in New York. He's only been to New York, like, literally.
That's not true. I went to New York a few times this past year, for real. I have.
With me?
No, it was with you. Like, I've been out there handling business, guys. I got, some properties out there. So listen, guys. So listen. This is where it gets good. So after her birthday,
you were his business.
Go back to New York. And I basically hit her up to try to go out to dinner. This time it wasn't no like, hey, let me say hi to you. Let me meet you. Let's just go get coffee. No, this time I was like, I'm going to book dinner. You pick a spot wherever you want to go. And I'll book reservations. I'll send you a car. We'll meet there and have a nice dinner together.
Yeah.
So she's like, you know what?
By the way, this was just, this was on a work night for me. And like,
okay, don't.
I'm just saying, this was a work night.
Okay.
So Thursday, I think.
Okay, so she says, okay, here's.
What was
that?
That's crazy. I remember what day. It was a Wednesday. I remember the day of the week.
Okay. So she told me what restaurant that she likes. She said, we should try this one out. Book it for this time. So I'm like, okay, bet. Like, she's agreeing. Everything is lined up. Like, I'm like, please allow me like to send you a car, because she kept saying she was gonna drive, and I'm like, nah, hell no. I was like, let me send you a car, because I had everything mapped out in my head. You guys know me, manifest everything, right? Put everything in my head. I plan everything out. Tauruses were like that. So I was like, let me send you a car. He'll be here at this time. Dinner's at this time. Boom. She was like, no, it's okay. Like, I don't want a car. I just want to drive. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this girl? Like, why does she not want anything that I'm giving her? Like, just take it. Just take it. And she's like, no, it's okay. Like, I'll just meet you there. And I'm like, oh, God. I'm like, she's probably not even going to come. At this point, she's going to forget about it, go to sleep, or she's going to not make it and do something else. So I pull up to dinner, and I text her, and I'm like, hey, how far are you? And she's like, I'm about 20 minutes. And I knew she lived pretty far. Are those subs, guys? Guys, thank you so much for the subs. C Brown 3. Is there a way we can turn this? Ray, we got to turn the subs down just because I'm trying to tell a story. I'll give out the sub shout outs after the story.
Gifted subs, that's why.
Yeah.
That's nice, though. Thank you.
Sorry, guys. I'm still trying to get hip to how to work these things. But so is this gonna turn down though, Uncle Ray?
No, it's our the sound of the computer turns down. We don't turn down.
Okay,
you're good.
So I go to dinner, and I'm sitting there waiting. She says she's about 20 minutes away, and at this time she lived about an hour or so.
No, it lived like 35 minutes.
35 minutes with traffic, maybe a little
yeah
more. And I'm like, okay, cool, she's on the way. At least she's on the way. Oh my Lord. Ray!
Just keep telling the story.
I know, I just want to be able to turn it. Every 2 seconds it's going to do that, and I can't. It's going to throw me off.
Just turn it off all the way.
All right, sorry, guys. Thank you for the subs, though. I'm not getting mad at you guys. I'm just getting mad that...
Thank you for the subs, really. That's very nice.
Oh, I hear him coming.
We'll answer this question in a little.
Yeah. Hey, the subs keep going off really loud in the middle of me telling my story. I told them that I'm going to obviously give sub shout-outs after the story time, but
all right, let me see.
Is it just the computer? 1 second.
You just turned the volume down on the computer.
Yeah, that's just...
Yeah, he's good. You're good.
Okay.
Right now?
Yeah,
I did.
It.
All right, cool.
All right, someone else sub so we can test it out.
Okay.
That's funny. Someone else sub. What was the one you said that we should get to after?
This one. Oh, it's gonna be gone. This one. We'll get there. Okay.
I don't know how you want to answer that one. You know how to answer that one? Yeah. But
okay, come on.
You know how to do it? Cause oh, she's funny. One thing about us, like we be like here.
Yeah, I'm in there right now.
Yeah. So she's telling me she's on the way. So I'm like, all right, bet. Like, this is my moment to finally get to meet this girl. She gets to meet me. We're going to hit it off. And the rest is history, right? All of a sudden, I check back in and she's like, hey, there's like a lot of traffic where I am. And I think I'm just going to turn around and go back home because I got to get up early for work tomorrow. And I'm like, no, you're not. I'm like, where are you right now? Like, I'm going to come and get you. And she was like, I'm sorry, like maybe we can, go to dinner another time. And I'm like, there's no way that I came to New York again. I'm only here for so many days, and you're not gonna see me. When you said you were gonna see me.
Yeah, that was kind of messed up. Not gonna lie, but.
But what?
It's just.
So tell what happened. Tell what happened.
So I actually did.
I still don't believe her to this day, guys. I still don't believe that she was on the way. I felt like she told me she was gonna come.
No, he thought that.
And she hold up. I felt like she was told me she was gonna come, but she stayed. Right? She probably had her stuff laid out. And she was like, you know what? I don't feel like going, and just laid in bed and told me she was on her way, and she wasn't on her way. But tell him what you told me.
No, I actually was on my way.
I still don't believe you.
And there was a lot of traffic in the Lincoln Tunnel, and then I was like, it was late already. It was probably like 9, and I had work the next day, and I was thinking to myself, Like, the thing with me is, like, I cannot feel like someone's gonna, like, pull a fast one on me, like, finesse me.
Mm-hmm.
And I just didn't know you well enough to, like, take that chance. Like, I really felt like, what is he trying to me? Like, what does he want from me? And I was kind of just, like, thinking about it on the way there. I'm like, what is this guy on? So the traffic just set me off. I was like, fuck this, I'm going home. So then I just went home, and I was like, you know what? If he really, at this point, I thought this a bunch of times. If he really wants to talk to me, he'll figure it out. But, so I went home. Yeah, exactly. I didn't know what his intentions were at first. I was like, what? And so I went home, and I actually felt bad because the text he was sending me, he was like, wait, really? You're not going to come? Like, I've been sitting here. I have a room. Or, like, he had, like a really nice, like, private room.
At dinner.
At dinner. Not and I was like, dang, that's messed up. But whatever. I went home. I got in bed. And then he's texting me. He's like, well, at least let me send you what I had for you at dinner. Like, if you're not going to come.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell could he have had for me at dinner? So he's like, can you send me your address? I'm going to send it to you. So obviously I don't send him my address. I send him, like, the house next door, like two store, like, places down. So I sent him my address. He's like, text me, like, my driver's going to drop it off. So then, like, an hour later, a driver pulls up to my house with this giant bouquet of flowers. I already talked about this, but it was the size of, the mini fridge. I'm not even kidding. It was the size of the mini fridge. It was so heavy, I couldn't even get it inside. So I bring it inside, and it's, like, taking up so much room. I have to put it in a laundry bin because there's no vase for it. So I'm like, oh my God. So then I think what had happened at that point, something I really, really, like, value and really like in a man is when they don't get mad. Like, the fact that he wasn't like, what the fuck, like, what, this bullshit, you didn't come, blah, blah, blah. He was just like, oh, damn, like that sucks. Like, I'm sorry that you couldn't come. Can I please still give you flowers? Like, if a man is, like, not mad, like, I stood him up crazy.
Yeah.
And he had, like, every right to be kind of mad at that. Like, that was kind of messed up. And because at that point, like, I should have just said, like, I'm not coming.
Yeah.
But the fact that he was like, oh, all right, well, like, let me still send you flowers, and was still so nice to me after. Yeah, I really liked that. I thought that was really nice.
Yeah, I genuinely, like, was obviously a little upset that I didn't get a chance, like, night, and I really thought I was. I still, like, there was another opportunity, and I wasn't, again, like, throughout this whole time, I was never, like, really putting pressure on her, besides just, like, genuinely, like, wanting to meet her.
Yeah.
You know? And so then what I was actually upset about was, like, the fact that I already had plans of leaving the next morning because I really had a flight booked the next morning.
Yeah.
And
he texted me, and I felt really bad at that point too, because he texted me like, oh, can I give you the flowers? And he's like, oh, and by the way, like, I can't, I'll have to, like, see you another time because I'm leaving tomorrow. And he was like, you sure you don't want to come to dinner? And I was like, already home by that point because I was like,
so then the next morning I woke up and one sec, guys.
Someone says he has peace. He has kids, so his patience is immaculate. Yeah.
That is pretty true.
Your patience was definitely there for sure.
Yeah, especially with you, because I feel like it was like from day one that I had to be patient with you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how you were from day one. So then the next morning came and my flight was getting ready to leave. We were supposed to leave, I think, like 10 a.m.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there in the bed and I'm like, okay, if I leave New York again for the second time and I don't see her, I'm not sure how much longer I can go with trying to, what's that word? Trying to pursue her. Exactly. Because at this point, you know, it's been months and I've been trying, you know, everything I can possibly try. I showed her like that I'm interested and I want to like at least get to know her more than like us texting and talking on the phone. And so in my head, I was like, okay, if I go back home today, like this is probably going to come to an end for me and I'm going to run out of patience and I'm going to move on to whatever it is in my life. Right. Mm-hmm. But then the other side of me was like, if I stay one more night, there's a possibility that I will be a very happy man and that maybe it could work out for the best. That's what I thought in my head. There was two sides of it. I was like, if I leave, it's over. If I stay, there's a possibility. And so what do you guys think I did? What do you think I did, chat? Yep. Canceled my flight, rebooked another flight, and I stayed.
You sure did.
I stayed, and I told her I didn't stay for her. I told her I didn't stay for her because I told her I had another meeting.
He couldn't give me that much. I'm like trying to.
I told her I was
like,
hey,
messages.
I have another meeting tonight. I'm gonna have to stay one more night, so let's try to rekindle this. Rain check for tonight. Can you make tonight happen? I know last night was rough for you, and you know I'm not gonna be too upset with you, but tonight, can you please? Can you give me that tonight? And so I hit her again midday. She was at work. And I was like, hey, can you make it up to me tonight since I'm here one more night? This is the last night I'll be here probably for the rest of my life.
I found them.
This is the last night I'll be here for the rest of my life. Can you please make tonight happen? And obviously she said yes. And she made it happen, guys. So I booked it again, did the whole same thing over again. And this time it was at a different restaurant. And she's telling me she's on her way. As I'm there first, she's telling me she's on her way. And I'm like, I call her this time because I'm like, I need to hear your voice that you're in the car on your way or else I'm going to lose it. So I call her. She's like, let me know. No, I'm not far. I'm 15 minutes out. And I'm like, okay, she's actually coming. Yes. So then, like, the restaurant is set up to where, like, you got to walk all the way outside. There's a whole parking lot outside. And so instead of me going out there and getting her, I had security James go out there to get her because I was a little nervous because I put in all this work, right? I put in all this work and I was like getting nervous about like me not being satisfied with like her whole package, right? I was like, I hope she has a good personality. I hope she's smart. Or I hope she's sweet. I hope she's kind. And obviously like everyone's looks on Instagram compared to pictures is I mean, Instagram compared to real life is always a little blurred, always a little, you know? So I was unsure about all that. So security James went outside and I said, hey bro, give me a thumbs up when you see her. Just text me a thumbs up if everything's on the up and up.
Imagine that's a whole other person.
By the way, I didn't know like what that meant because if he'd text me a thumbs down, I don't know if I would have ran out of there or not.
Yeah, because you would have had to see for your own eyes.
Exactly. So I was like, just text me this so I can feel good about the situation. So sure enough, security James texted me a thumbs up and I was like, all right, I feel so much better. So she comes into the restaurant and we're sitting at the table and she walks straight past the table. And I'm like, does she not see me here? Like, is she doing this on purpose? And then I'm like, hey. She's like, oh, I didn't see you. She was all like goofy and like smiley. And I'm like, oh, she's dope. Like, she's not trying to do too much. You know how some girls like walk in the restaurant and they're like, the boobies are out. They're like this. Like, she was hella cool. She was a vibe. She was straight. So then she sits down and honestly, like, we hit it off like that. Like, the first. Quick.
Yeah. I was really surprised. It was the funniest thing ever because when I went home, I had told my mom I was going on a date with you.
Okay.
And my mom was like, I don't know about him, Alexa. I don't know. She's like, maybe don't. And I was like, Mom, you don't even know what the backstory to this date is. And she was like, okay, well, I'll be up. So call me if you need me. And I was like, okay. So I went and I was like, I was telling her, I'm like, I'm not going to like him, Mom. Like, if anything, I think he's going to be like a friend. Yeah. Like, I think he's so crazy and goofy. Like, he would just be, at that point, I was like, he's so sweet. Like, even if I don't like him, I would be friends with him.
Yeah.
But then I went and I was like, ooh, I kind of like this person. I was like, I like him. Like, he's fun. He's funny.
Okay, chat.
Guys.
W's in the chat.
Guys, there's nothing I feel like in this world, I guess for me, I feel like for a lot of girls, there's nothing better than like a guy with personality that makes you laugh.
I wish I had the ringer.
Like,
hold on. You gotta say that again. Say that again.
I said there's nothing better than a guy with personality that makes you laugh. Like, there's a reason that he's so likable, you know? And I thought, like, obviously he was doing it for a camera. So that wasn't, like, translating to me. I wasn't like, okay, that was funny, but it wasn't, like, towards me. But when you have someone like that that's, like, interested in you and making you laugh, and, like, he was just so personable.
And you noticed I was like how I am in my videos and in real life. Like, I was making you laugh in person.
Yeah.
And it wasn't for the cameras.
And he wasn't. I feel like, I don't know what gave me this vibe, but I felt like he was going to be the type of guy, because I've been on, like, really, really annoying dates where you're like, oh my God, I need to teleport out of here. Where, like, guys are like, oh my God, you're so beautiful, like, touching you. And I'm like, don't fucking touch me. I don't even know you. He was, like, keeping space, but, like, flirtatious at the same time, but not, like,
The perfect
like, stepping
mix.
overstepping boundaries.
Yeah.
And then also we were this close during our date, because we were at a round table. So, like, we weren't sitting across, we were sitting like this. So the whole time we're just talking this close to each other. And I think it was just, I was like, I really like his vibe. And then from there.
And then you also said, I don't want you to forget.
What did I say?
You can tell them what you said. You said, like, how good of a father I was because I brought my kids up. And I was talking about my kids.
Yeah, you were. And at that point, I didn't know his kids. I'd seen pictures of his kids. But I saw how, like, attentive. I had seen you be with your kids. So I knew, like, you were a good dad. I think I was hesitant in the beginning. Like, it wasn't so, like, black and white. I wasn't like, oh, I would never date a dad. I would never date. But, I mean, all the like, the bullets were just not working in my favor. Like, he was already married. He has kids. Lives in California. He's so far away. Like, this is just a lot for me.
Yeah.
But he was like, no, I'm going to show you why it's not a lot. Like, I'm going to show you why you should like me. And he did. Like, he was just like, I'm going to prove to you, like, why all of this is good.
Yeah, facts.
And it ended up being like that, because, like, before, I would probably not date someone with kids, but I realized him being a dad is, like, one of the best things about him.
Oh, that's dope.
Especially him being a girl dad and him being a little boy dad too. But like, you have a lot of qualities that I feel like a lot of guys haven't matured to have yet because they don't have kids. Like, you had kids very early, which made you have to have those qualities earlier than most guys. Yeah. Like, guys my age that I've dated are just kind of, like, into themselves. Like, they want a little arm candy. They're not really worried about you. They're not like patient. They're not they're just, you have that because you have kids. Yeah. So yeah, I thought that was nice. And then what happened from there?
After that, it was history.
He tried to kiss. No, I'm kidding.
No. Actually, hold up. Don't tell them the truth now. So then we walk out of the restaurant, and I know she was probably expecting me to be like, hey, let's go do something after this. But I know, it was getting late, and I knew she had work, so I didn't want to hold her up. Like, by just her coming to dinner was everything that I needed and I wanted, right? I was like, damn, like, I appreciate her so much for just giving me the opportunity to even, like, allow me to be in her presence, right? I was like, that was good enough for me because she at least got to know a little bit more about me, like, in person. Yeah. Right? And that's, like, what I needed. I knew that if I could get that, I knew I could, like, take the next step with her. So we walked out to her car, and I basically just said, hey, thanks for coming to dinner. I would love for you to, like, come to LA soon. And I was like, let me know if you need anything. I was like, now, like, we're friends now at this point. I was like, we're friends. If you ever need anything from me, like, I'm here for you. And I open the door for her. She gets in the car. I give her a hug, and then she kissed me on the cheek. And I was like, what? I was like, you sure you don't want to go to my hotel? No, I'm playing. No, I'm playing. I would never.
No, he never did that.
I would never. But no, when I got the little kiss on the cheek, I was like, that was confirmation that, like, the date went really well.
Yeah. I have here, like...
Chill.
No, I have here, like, what I said after the date.
Chill.
No, I'm not going to show. I'm just going to read.
She's trying to expose me, chat.
Wait.
What you trying to show? You can't be giving away my game now. Chat. What is she gonna show
This
you
is
guys?
actually so sad that I'm like looking back. Do you want me to order for you? We're about to order, cause you were. Oh, I wasn't there yet.
I forgot how sad I looked.
He said, Are you good, love?" I said, "I've barely moved in traffic."
I forgot.
mean.
I was doing the most.
My text back was, "I think I'm gonna turn around. I'm really tired. I don't know how long this is gonna take. Plus, I have work early. I wanted to meet you, but no rush. I'll meet you at some point. Thank you for inviting me."
At some point, she said.
I said, "Thank you for inviting me."
Oh hell! I just want you guys to know that I would never I've never done this, go these lengths for nobody. No, I've never gone these lengths. Like I was really on some for some reason I had this vision in my head and I was like, yo, for whatever reason, without getting to know her, just off of me seeing this individual, I was like, I think that this could go somewhere, and I have to figure out how to make it happen, because if not, it's not gonna sit right with me.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show you, everything that I was doing, I really gave it my all, y'all. I really gave it my all.
These texts are so funny. You said, "Okay, try and grab it," because the flowers, and you put "try" in all caps, and I was confused because I was like, "How big?"
Oh,
is this?
yeah.
And then I said, "Oh my God, that was definitely not little. That's so beautiful. Thank you so much. You've definitely beat any flower arrangement I've ever received." And you said, "Haha, I'm glad you like them. How'd you pick them up?" I said, "That was all hand strings." I'm actually out of breath. This conversation is so cute. And then the next day you were like, "Do you think we could go tonight?" And then this is funny. I said, what did I say? I said, "I'm in my robe, not ready yet." And you were like, "Please don't tell me you're in your robe. You're in your robe. Don't get my hopes up, please." Oh my God. He said, "Do you have a curfew?" And I said 11:30.
You really gave me a curfew. God
11:30.
damn.
And then this is when you said, "My guy is coming out to get you."
Mm-hmm.
James. I said, "I'm across the street from Marnie in the Range Rover. He's coming." And then black dude wearing all black. And then he said, "Did you make it home when I got home?" I said, "Yes." "Okay, cool. I appreciate you coming again. Hope you enjoyed yourself."
Oh.
I said, "Thank you for dinner. I had a really nice time."
Chat, your boy got that game, chat. Hey, keep it a buck, chat. W's in the chat right now. If Austin McBroom got that game.
Yeah. Then from there, it was just these.
I think one thing about me, though, chat, too, is one thing about me that if you guys don't know, I think what a lot of dudes go wrong is they put pressure, right? They put pressure, and then when they don't get what they want, then they get rude and disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like with this situation, that was something I was not trying to do. And I kept reiterating to you over and over. I was like, listen, no pressure, whatever you want to do. But I was at least giving you the persistence and letting you know that I was serious in the actions that I was taking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the moment that I didn't show you that, I felt like you would have thought I was playing games, and it would have never worked out.
Yeah.
You know? So.
Someone said, "Were you in shock that he was in your DMs?"